Hi, good afternoon everyone, or should I say good evening by the time you see this video. It'll be going out tonight at 10 o'clock. Yeah, I hope you're all doing well and coping with the heat. It should be a lot cooler today, especially if you're down in the south of England. Yeah, today I'm going to speak about the last 32 of the World Cup, and obviously the yesterday's and today's fixtures and results. So let's get into it. Yesterday we had Group G. Egypt 1, Iran 1, and New Zealand 1, Belgium 5. In Group H we had Cape Verde 0, Saudi Arabia 0, and Uruguay 0, Spain 1. In Group L, of course, we had Croatia 2, Ghana 1, and Panama 0, England 2. And today, or very early hours of this morning, we had Colombia 0, Portugal 0, and Congo DR 3, Uzbekistan 1. And finally in Group J we had Algeria 3, Austria 3, Jordan 1, Argentina 3. So that rounds up those. And in the last 32 fixtures, which start today, we've got South Africa versus Canada at 8 PM this evening. So by the time you see this video that would have already probably been played. So best of luck to both of them. Tomorrow we've got Brazil v Japan at 6 PM and Germany v Paraguay at 9:30. Tuesday we have Holland v Morocco, a very early one for those of you who are able to stay up or get up early. That's at 2 AM. 6 PM later that day we've got Ivory Coast versus Norway and France v Sweden at 10 PM. That should be a good one. Then on to Wednesday, of course, we have England versus DR Congo. But, sorry, I should have said before that, at 2 AM, early hours, you have Mexico at home to Ecuador, and then England v DR Congo at 5 o'clock. So for those of you who are working, that's a bit of a bugger. Unless you can try and leave early or even get the day off, you might have already planned that. But it's a rather annoying time, isn't it, for most of you? And then we've got Belgium v Senegal on Wednesday at 9 PM. So that wraps up Wednesday. Then on to Thursday we have USA versus Bosnia-Herzegovina at 1 AM, and then Spain v Austria at 8 o'clock later that day. And on Friday we've got 4 games. Portugal versus Croatia at 12 AM, Switzerland v Algeria at 4 AM, and then at 7 PM later that day we've got Australia v Egypt, and then Argentina versus Cape Verde at 11 o'clock. And that just leaves the final game in the last 32 on Saturday, 2:30 AM, Colombia versus Ghana. So that rounds that all up. And I just want to quickly discuss England and Scotland's fortunes, and obviously the Scots are now out, and Steve Clarke has handed in his resignation, and personally I think that's the right thing to do. I mean, there's obviously 50-50 on whether he should have stayed or gone, but I just feel that, he had 7 years there, I think it was. Yeah, he's never come across to me as like, the man to kind of get anything different out of them to what they've got in previous tournaments. It's the usual thing of group stage, enjoy it while it lasts, then go home. All the fans get pissed, and it's just almost like they're there for a holiday, and the football's kind of a side attraction. And that does annoy me with the Scots. If they took it a bit more seriously, I'm sure the team do, but maybe it's the media's fault as well, where they kind of go, they're purely there for the party and da-da-da. But it seemed like the focus in this World Cup was more about what the fans were doing rather than the team, which doesn't say a lot, does it? But sometimes that can also be aimed at England as well, if I'm honest. Like we've had previous tournaments like the WAG culture. We had the Golden Generation 2006. It was all about the off-field stuff and what was going on with them and all that crap. So England can be guilty of that too, but like I say, mostly it's the media's fault. But yeah, no doubt most of you saw the game against Panama. I thought it was an improvement against the Ghana game. It's a bit more interesting to watch, more end to end, because any team that comes with a low block like Ghana did, it's going to make it not particularly a great game. especially if the other team are trying to break them down. It's a bit like we see a lot of that in the Premier League, don't we? Where the more attacking sides will come up against the team at the bottom half of the table, and they just park the bus, and it doesn't make for a good game at all. But there you go. That is what you have to come up against, and if you're going to go all the way and win the thing, you know you're going to play more than one style of tactic, aren't you? So you can't complain. It's not going to be pretty at times, but as long as you get there, that's the main thing, as far as I'm concerned. But yeah. And obviously, discussing going forward, we now have Congo DR on Wednesday, and if we win that one, I understand we would play Mexico at the Azteca Stadium in the last 16, and those guys haven't been beaten at home for like 2 years or something ridiculous, so that in itself, is a challenge to beat them. But not just that, but the altitude on which the stadium is like over 7,000 feet above sea level, so that is another factor that's going to make it very difficult. So we would be up against it completely, I think. Not to say that we can't beat them. Mexico aren't the best footballing nation and haven't been for some time, but they do offer something going forward at least, and home soil, and with the altitude it is going to make it tough for any European side in particular. And I think I'm right in saying, if we go the way that is, we would then face another two South American sides. I think after that we could get Brazil in the quarters and then Argentina in the semi, if things pan out that way, and in the final we could be up against the likes of Spain, Germany or France. Ifs and buts, but it's exciting to think about those possible fixtures. But from what I've seen of us so far, if we get beyond the quarterfinals, I think we've done well, to be fair. We've already got injury problems and defensive issues. We're looking shaky at the back. Going forward, we look great. We've got plenty of attacking options, but at the back, we do look very vulnerable. But teams do. The best teams do get better as tournaments go on. So we'll see. We might see against a better side. We might improve our style of play. So we'll see. But I shall leave it there, folks. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and also you can follow us on Facebook. I shall be back tomorrow with my next video, so keep an eye out for that one. Alright, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll be talking to you soon. Alright, bye for now.